Hey folks, welcome back to Todd Bosley's world famous YouTube channel. So tonight I am very frustrated, and I never like to disparage anyone, any company, and that's not my intention tonight. But I want to talk to you about this 1943 Lincoln cent, and I don't know if many of you have seen my video previously or not, but I bid $161,000 and some change on this coin. So this coin is still at 152.5. When I placed my bid, they told me that my credit was not good with them for whatever reason. Although they've never run my credit, they don't know who I am, they have no idea about me. But they told me that I could not bid on it. So if you watch the previous video, which is going to be linked into the description here, you will see that I called Great Collections and I said, I'm interested in bidding on your auction. And I placed a $161,000 bid. I live in Ohio. This particular auction company is located in California. And if I bid on something like that and I'm not good for it, I'm going to have a major legal problem, as any of you would expect. I mean, why would somebody place a bid that they could not cover? What I'm most appalled by, and I mean appalled by, is that I placed the message and I asked to talk to somebody intelligent about the scenario that I was going through. So I'm going to switch over now and I'm going to show you what I received. Let's go to my email. Hang on here one second while I figure out this new phone. We're going to go to my email. That's not my email, but we'll get to it. So we're going to go to my email and I'm going to show you the email that I received. So the email says bid limit increase at Great Collections. So the owner of Great Collections 2 days ago sent me an email and he says, "Hi Todd, would you like your bid limit increase at Great Collections?" Well, obviously I would. I mean, first of all, you never told me what my bid limit was, so I didn't have any expectations that my bid limit was suppressed or that I couldn't bid on this coin. This is a 1943 copper penny. To me, it's the holy grail of coins. Rarely do you ever find a coin like this that you can bid on, because there's only somewhere between 25 and 40 of these in the whole world that ever existed. So today I called the company and I was as respectful as I could be, and I asked if I could speak with Ian, and Ian was not available. Apparently he's only available by email. Well, listen, guys, when you're talking about this kind of money, you should not be only available by email. You should be available by phone basically anytime that somebody needs you. So he says, if so, how much would you like it increased to? Okay, well, I don't know. How do I answer that? Give me 5 million? Give me 2 million? I don't know. This coin's worth a lot of money. And now this is the greatest part of the whole email here. Have you bid with other auction houses? Absolutely, I have. I bid with Heritage, Robert Edwards. I mean, there's been lots that I bid with. If so, can you please let me know which ones, and then also email me some copies of invoices with those auction houses. So now, and I got to tell you, my first question is this even legal? Is this even legal that I have to send this guy copies of other things I bought? I'm going to say in the state of California, I'm just guessing because I don't know, but I'm pretty much sure that I do know. I don't have to send this guy that kind of stuff. And what kind of auction house is this exactly? You want to see if I place the bid at another auction house that determines my viability with your company? Are you kidding me? I've never heard of anything like this. Now, I've dealt with multiple banks. I've heard of credit reports. I've heard of financial statements. I've heard of things like that. But the fact that I may or may not have bid with another auction company, which I'm telling you now that I have, I feel that it is a insult to me that I have to provide Mr. Russell with some type of invoice that I bid on some other auction company for him to approve me to bid on his auction. This is a legal binding issue. If I place a bid with his company, it's a legal binding bid. I have to make that bid good or I'm going to get sued. So apparently, at least based in my opinion, he's created his own rules. So when I call his number, he's not available. He can't talk to me. He's unavailable to talk to a bidder who is ready and responsible to place a $161,000 bid. And to be honest with you, I can place a lot bigger bid than that. But I can't even talk to the guy to explain anything to him about who I am or why I want to bid on this coin. If you followed my channel for very long, you know that this coin has been a coin that I have sought for many, many years. The fact that there's only between 25 and 40 of these coins, they rarely come up for auction. So I am ready to try to buy this coin. But luckily, there's 15 days left for this auction to end. But in that 15 days, I have to jump through whatever hoops Mr. Russell decides I have to jump through to be able to bid on his auctions. Now, I bid on his auctions before, and I've never had a problem like this. So that leads me to the only logical question that I can come up with is, why is this coin a problem? This coin is one of the rarest coins you will ever see at an auction. And in my first video, I gave Mr. Russell and his company a lot of credit. The reason I gave them credit is because they don't try to take 50% of the seller's money. If you look at other auction companies, and if you have valuable items, which I do, by the way, you will find out that selling at an auction is complicated because they take such a high percentage from you, the seller. Now, I'm a bidder. I'm just trying to buy this coin, okay? That's all I'm trying to do. And listen, not to brag on myself, I have some assets. I'm in politics. I've been a county commissioner. I'm currently a fiscal officer in a township. So when I do something, if I place a bid like that and I don't pay, I don't get the back page. I get the front page. So if anybody watching this video thinks that I'm going to place a bid for fun or that I'm not going to make good on it, you're totally wrong. And Mr. Russell, what are you doing here? Are you following the laws of the state of California? I mean, I'm in Ohio, so I don't really know the rules in the state of California. But what I do know is there are credit apps, there are financial statements, there are things like that you should be asking for. You should not be asking me what I bid at somebody else's auction. What does that matter? First of all, that's an invasion of privacy. I'm not going to tell you what I bought and who I bought it from and when I bought it for and what I paid for it. That's a bunch of crap. That's an absolute bunch of crap. I don't owe you that explanation. I can give you my social security number. I can give you my credit report. I can show you what I'm worth. I can give you a balance sheet. But you have no right and you have no business to ask me what I bought from somebody else and how much I paid for it. And if that really is your business plan, that's terrible. I can tell you straight up right now, this video is going to the California State Attorney General. I am going to ask them to investigate great collections in the state of California because I want to know why. When I place a $161,000 bid on a coin, which I am prepared to bid even more than that on, why that bid is not accepted, why I was not informed in the beginning that I had a credit limit. I don't even know what my credit limit is. What is my credit limit with Great Collections? I have no idea. You know what? They didn't bother to tell me. And apparently, they set the credit limit based on how they feel that day. Hey, did you buy something from another competitor of ours? And how much did you pay them for it? Seriously? Really? I mean, that is amateur to me. That is totally amateur. And I don't think it follows the actual rules of the state of Ohio, of California. I'm sorry. I keep saying Ohio because I live in Ohio, but I'm bidding on an auction in California. Now, maybe it does. Maybe the state code, the Ohio Revised Code in California says, no, not Ohio Revised Code, California Revised Code says, oh, well, you have to provide to us other bids you've made to other companies. And if you did that and you actually bid with another company, then I guess you get to bid on this auction. But maybe the California Revised Code says, here's what you have to do to be able to bid on an auction. But I don't think it has to do with anything that relates to a competitor. I think it has to do with who you are and can you cover the bid that you made. I made a $161,000 bid. Folks, I'm telling you right now, 110%, I can cover that bid. I can cover much more than that bid. I called today and I asked to talk to Mr. Russell. But I don't get to talk to Mr. Russell because Mr. Russell is only available, according to his employee, by email. Well, I'm not sending Mr. Russell my bids with other auction companies because, frankly, that's none of his business. If he wants to know who I am, he can send me a credit app and I can send him a financial statement and we can then do business. But I got a feeling, and I've showed you this email. Here it is, folks. You can see it straight up front. That's not the way that I roll. And I'm telling you, I don't think that's the way the state of California rolls. We're stuck at 152.5, okay? I bid 161,000 and some change, and I am not the current bidder. That's very frustrating to me. And I understand some of you may not understand this, but this coin, if you're a coin collector, you understand how great this coin is. In 1943, there were not copper pennies made. They made them out of steel. We were at war. We were in World War II. Copper was needed on the front lines. So we went to a zinc steel penny. That's what we made. There were very, very few of these made. Finding this is really the holy grail of coin collecting. There are very few coins that I could point to that are more valuable, more sought after, and rarely will one ever see in their whole life than the coin that I'm showing you right now. I am a viable bidder. I am a person who can buy this coin and I want it for my personal collection. However, I'm not allowed to bid on this coin because I haven't shown Mr. Russell that I bid on other auctions with his competitors to even be able to bid. Folks, this is amateur night, okay? This is amateur night. Great Collections, I thought, was a really super great company until I just got the email that I just showed in this video. I mean, come on. Imagine if it was you. Imagine if you went to buy a car. Hey, I'm going to go buy a car and I want to get some credit. And the owner of the company said, whoa, hold on. You got to show us the other competitors that you bought cars from and how much you paid for them. What would you say about that? Would you say, "Oh, hell, yeah, that's a great way to do business, Mr. Russell"? Yeah, I bought one from this Ford company and one from this Chevy company. So because I did that and I paid this much, that's how much I should pay. I got a feeling, folks, when you go to a car company and you want to buy a car, they don't care who you bought a car from. They don't care how much you paid for a car. They care about your credit score and they care about whether or not you can pay for that particular car. Not about, hey, who'd you buy it from and can you show us some invoices of what you bought before? I mean, amateur night at the beginning of the day. That's what this is. And I really I thought, man, when you look at the other auction companies and how much they rake people for, I mean, rake them for. You save your whole life. You collect your whole life. Collecting is two parts. Collecting is, first of all, buying it at the right price, and secondly, selling it so you can make some money. What happens with a lot of people in collections is that they buy things the right way. Their kids get a hold of it after they die. They don't take the steps that they need to make sure that someone in their life is educated on what they own. As soon as they die, the kid goes out, the family goes out, whoever, and all of a sudden they sell it for a fraction of what you paid for it. Don't let that happen to you. Don't be that person that buys and builds a great collection and then they let it just turn into mush because they decided to not educate or not let someone know what they have. I've been buying gold and silver for over 20 years. I have a store. I have a large store. We actually buy and sell all kinds of different things. And I've seen scenarios that you would not believe if I told you. There have been people where they haven't even been buried yet, and the family is standing in my office ready to sell the items that somebody owns, and they have no idea what they're worth. They haven't taken the time to research it. They have no idea of what they even have there. And if it wasn't for somebody being honest with them and telling them, here's what you have, you can go to 9 out of 10 pawn shops and you will get beat up. You will get taken advantage of. I guarantee it. And there are very few honest people, companies out there anymore. So I know I'm really getting off the subject here because I'm frustrated with great collections. I am frustrated that this is their policy. That doesn't mean that I won't deal with them. I really hope to buy this penny. I really hope that Mr. Russell just had a lack of judgment. Maybe he didn't read the rules. If this is really his company policy, I hope that he can hire an attorney, an accountant, and somebody much wiser than the email that I just saw to run his business for him, because I think he's got a good business. I just don't know if he's a good businessman at this point or not. Maybe he is, and maybe he's not. But when you take a viable bidder and you put me in charge of a person when I call who does not have any answers, no answers. I said to the young man that I talked to, and he seemed like a nice young man, I said, well, what do you recommend? He goes, I really don't know. He said, I would just email Mr. Russell. He runs everything. And I said, well, does Mr. Russell have a platform or a program that I, should subscribe to? Which, again, I go back to credit reports and financial statements and things like that. My daughter's a CPA. I raised a CPA, and I love that little girl so much. I also raised a nurse, and I love that little girl so much. But I can tell you, this is not how you run a business. You do not go to a car lot, and the car lot does not ask you what you paid for a car, who you bought it from, and all of that kind of stuff. You get down to the basics. So, Mr. Russell, I'm Todd Bosley. I own Todd Bosley's world famous products. You can check me out on Amazon, Walmart, anywhere you want to. You can look at my store. I own the Bargain Barn. I own Ohio Trading Coin and Jewelry. I've been in this business for a long time. And never, my friend, never, never, ever have I ever been so insulted at an auction or by an auction company by asking me to provide bids that I placed. And believe me, mister, I've placed plenty of bids, but they're none of your business. If you want to know who I am, if you want to know my viability, then you send me a credit report. You look at my credit report. You look at what I'm worth. You look at what I can pay for, and you don't ask me these simpleton questions ever again about what I can pay for and who I bid and what I paid for it, because I think that's totally ridiculous, and I think it's amateur hour in the auction business at Great Collections. Mr. Russell, my phone number is 330-323-9775. I'm going to say it one more time. 330-323-9775. Tomorrow, I expect a phone call from you. Number one, I expect an apology for the way that I was treated. That's the first thing I expect. The second thing I expect from you is a credit app. I will fill out a credit app. I will give you my credit app, and I will guarantee you that I am more than viable to bid on this coin. I am disgusted with the way that this company has treated me, and I am reporting you tomorrow to the California State Attorney General's office, and we're going to see what they have to say with the way that you run your business. Now, mister, let me tell you something else. If that's just a lack of knowledge, I understand it, and I'm going to forgive you if that's the way it happened. But I'm also going to say to you right now that if this is a way to prevent viable bidders from bidding on your auction, that, mister, is a big, big problem for you. I understand you have a $152,000 bid. You and I both know this coin is worth more than $152,000. We know it, and if the public looks it up, they're going to know it too. But you should not be preventing me from bidding on your auction because I didn't bid on somebody else's auction, or I'm unwilling to provide to you my information about other bids that I've made. So, Mr. Russell, 330-323-9775. I expect a phone call, and I really do expect a phone call, and I expect you to man up. I expect you to follow what the state of California has to say about the way you run an auction. I'm ready to bid, and buddy, I better be approved tomorrow. I'm not joking. Thanks for watching. Check out Todd Bosley's world famous YouTube channel. We got tons of great stuff, folks. I love buying the rare and the unusual. If you want to sell something, give me a call because I pay more than any of them do. If you got a great collection, I'll come to you. If you got an okay collection, you can send it to me. Whatever, I don't know. I buy the rare, the unusual. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm serious about rare and good collectibles. Great Collections, you have a great coin here. Don't play games with me, though. I'm ready to buy this coin, and I don't want to be jacked with. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.